All right, hello and welcome to your unique devotion for the day. Today we are, I am reading Luke chapter 23, and I will be reading Jesus Faces Herod, starting in verse 6 and going to verse 12. So, again, Luke chapter 23, verse 6 through 12. You ready? Here we go. When Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked if the man were a Galilean. As soon as he knew that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who was also in Jerusalem at the time. Now, when Herod saw Jesus, he was exceedingly glad, for he had desired for a long time to see him, because he heard many things about him, and he hoped to see some miracle done by him. Then he questioned him with many words, but he answered him nothing. And the chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently accused him. Then Herod, with his men of war, treated him with contempt and mocked him, arrayed him in a gorgeous robe, and sent him back to Pilate. That very day Pilate and Herod became friends with each other, and previously they had been at enmity with each other. So let me sharing time first. Do you feel persecution or times where you don't fit in to a group or a conversation? Do you feel persecution at times where you don't fit into a group or a conversation? Even in his persecution, even in his not fitting in, he is giving purpose to and refining the circumstances. So let me explain. The Bible has purpose. So nothing in it is without purpose. And it talks here that Herod, who was also in Jerusalem at the time, so they're pointing out that he isn't normally in Jerusalem, but he happened to be there at the precise time that he needed to be there so that Jesus could go to him and be persecuted. It was part of the set up to put him on the cross. So there's purpose there. Jesus was setting the circumstances all around him. And the very last verse, verse 12, that very day Pilate and Herod became friends with each other, where they hadn't been before, even though they work in the same government, if you will. Now they become friends. But why point that out when the whole point here is that Jesus is going to the cross? There's more to it than that. It wasn't just about Jesus going to the cross, though that is the most important. I think what's trying to be portrayed here is that, yes, Jesus is on his way to our salvation, but even when circumstances are going crazy, they were vehemently persecuting him. And even when the circumstances aren't the way you want them to be, he's still refining them. He took a circumstance when he was going to die, and instead of just boo-hooing, he set the stage for two powerful men at that time to come together as friends. And who knows really how much he affected Pilate in his conversation with him. Maybe he really thought about it even deeper and on his heart. And maybe when he found out that Jesus had come back from the dead, knowing that he had that personal conversation with him physically, it might have affected him in a different way, and his wife. They may have come to Christ, who knows? And being friends with Herod, maybe it affected them some way. If for nothing else, Jesus was setting the pieces for Pilate and Herod to be doing something bigger by being friends. Does that make sense? And I think that's why it's pointed out here. Because otherwise, you're talking about Jesus going to the cross and his path to the cross. That doesn't even need to be in there. Unless it has purpose. So, let me reread the sharing one more time. Then we're done for the day. Well, I'm done videoing for the day. But you need to then take this further and think about it on your own throughout the day for yourself. Do you feel persecution or times where you don't fit into a group or a conversation? Yeah, I do. Even in God's persecution, he is giving purpose to and refining the circumstances. So where is he doing that in your life today? Where is he doing that in your life every day? All these questions probably should be pondered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This whole book and beyond should do that way, but our brains aren't big enough. They're just not big enough to comprehend every question at the exact same moment, at the same time, unless you start to understand the word love in its totality. I think the more you'll get that word, the more all of this will just make more sense in a much more simplistic way. But that's probably something else for later on into delving into the true meaning of love and where love came from, because I'm already up to almost 8 minutes. Dramatic pause. On that note, I need to wake my brain up some more. Definitely do some thinking about this scripture. That'll help. You know all the stuff. Comments, like it. I'm still looking for a feature. Always check the D box for your music, for your pump up music for the day. And as always, I hope that God gives you all the blessings you deserve today, and even more so, at least one blessing that you don't deserve, just to get that wow in your life and wake you up just a little bit more in his existence. Have a wonderful day.